There's something sacred about leaving home with intention. A bag packed, a notebook tucked inside, camera ready. The rhythm of the train moving north toward Seattle felt like a threshold crossing, a quiet in-between space, where anticipation hums just beneath the surface. By the time I checked into my hotel in Pioneer Square, brick walls, tall windows, stories layered into stone, I could feel it, that familiar pull towards something larger. The Northwest Flower and Garden Show was waiting, and I didn't know how deeply it would move me. Taking the monorail down to the convention center felt so freeing. Inside the convention center, concrete floors transformed into living worlds, 21 full display gardens, over 600 vendors, 115 speakers, nearly 60,000 people walking through. All of it constructed in days, built to endure, built to inspire. There's something extraordinary about watching landscape architects, designers, and installation crews take raw space and breathe life into it. The vision, the logistics, the devotion. It's art, and it's engineering, and it's heart, and its reverence made visible. The first garden I entered was the Puyallup Tribe display. Grounding, intentional, and connected to place. It reminded me that before design, there is land. Before spectacle, there's relationship. And that felt like the right beginning. Inside the first place garden, there was a small book nook tucked into the design, in the midst of grandeur, a quiet place to sit. A reminder that gardens are not only for growing, they're for lingering. Even the most elaborate spaces still make room for stillness. In this design by Kate David of Hello Garden, Spanish moss drifted softly through the structure, movement, mystery, atmosphere shifting beneath the surface. Some gardens impress you with scale. Others draw you in with mood. This one lingered with so much intention and so much attention to detail. It kept bringing me back in time and again. Softness inside structure, movement inside stillness. Some designers build gardens, others build atmosphere. And atmosphere is what allows a place to feel alive. Several gardens later, I stood beneath the arches of the dye garden. Plants that give color, plants that stain fabric, plants that leave a mark. I tied a ribbon there in memory of someone I love. And in that moment, this wasn't a flower and garden show anymore. It was ritual. Sacred landscapes allow us to place our grief somewhere beautiful. They let memory become visible. And then came the Moonlit Garden of the Mountain Goddess. Moonlight themes, feminine presence woven into planting, a sense of myth made tangible. Some spaces feel beautiful, others feel familiar. This one felt like both. And then there was The Inward Garden by Denise Ashley, a spiral drawing the eye inward, a quiet geometry of reflection. I will share more of this space soon, because some landscapes deserve contemplation. But even in passing, you could feel the invitation. Go inward before you expand outward. There were also pocket gardens, proof that beauty adapts, that scale isn't everything. Even the smallest footprint can feel complete. As I walked through garden after garden, I kept thinking about the effort behind them. Designers with vision, crews working long hours, volunteers coordinating thousands of details. What we see for a week is the results of months, sometimes years, of dreaming. Beyond the gardens, there were conversations, rooms filled with people listening closely, ideas about ecology, design, culture, slow living, and craft, regenerative farming, and gardening with soul. Knowledge being passed from one generation of growers to the next. I had my book signed by author Felicia Feaster. Our conversation wandered into poison gardens, Victorian symbolism, graveyards, and seeing our own landscapes differently. It's rare to meet someone who shifts your perspective in a single exchange. This exchange stayed with me. The energy shifted towards the stage for the container showdown featuring Kevin and Chuck of Epic Gardening. And watching them design in real time with no edits and no pause was equal parts skill and play. Later, I grabbed a photo with them. I'm so grateful for their kindness and encouragement that they extended. The next container showdown that I went to felt a little more personal. Cheering on Claudia from In the Garden with Claudia, who is another Oregon YouTuber, as she competed against Sky Hamilton, was immensely entertaining.
Oh! Can't take my eyes off of you. Join them, you guys! I wanna hold you so much. Oh! Has arrived. Thank God I'm alive. You're just too good to be true. Can't take my eyes off of you. Oh, give her a hand.
Fellow Oregon YouTubers Katie from Rain or Shine Gardening and Destry of Oregon Gardening sat with me with pink pom-poms in hand, cheering Claudia on. Afterwards, along with their husbands, Justin and Corey, we all stepped out into the Seattle rain and wandered off to lunch. Escalators, damp jackets, and full hearts. Sacred landscape is not just soil and stone. It's shared experience. It's a community formed in ordinary moments. I also had the privilege of sitting in the live audience as Nicole Pitt recorded her podcast for Botanical Interest and interviewed Deborah Prinzing and Jennifer Galizia. There's something powerful about witnessing conversations unfold in real time. You can feel the shared passion and the collective effort. And then, like all temporary worlds, it ended quietly. A cup of coffee in hand, the city beginning to blur behind me. The gardens will be dismantled. The cement floor will return. But the ideas, the conversations, the connections, those travel home with us. And sometimes that's the part that matters most. Keep celebrating your life.